Welcome back to the Cinnamon Effect. I'm Kimberly Hand, and today I have Adam El-Hosseiny in the studio with me. Adam is a dynamic leader in the diagnostic lab industry, currently serving as the Chief Operating Officer and co-owner of Access Medical Laboratories. With over 2 decades of experience, Adam has helped transform the family business into a powerhouse of innovation and growth since joining in 2004. His visionary leadership has propelled the company through significant milestones. From 2008, Adam led the regional sales force with remarkable success, culminating in a strategic regional M&A with LabCorp in 2017. Under his guidance, Access Medical Laboratories experienced a staggering tenfold growth from 2017 to 2024, securing a groundbreaking M&A partnership with Impressus Arias in 2023. Before ascending to the role of COO, Adam excelled in various executive roles, including VP of Sales, VP of Operations, and Executive VP. His knack for optimizing processes and pioneering automation across departments has been instrumental in the company's growth. Welcome to the Cinnamon Effect, Adam El-Hosseiny.
Thank you. Very humbling introduction. That was a lot, but I appreciate it.
That was a lot. It was a mouthful, but it's amazing. I love it.
Thank you, and thank you for having me. You know, when you say 2 decades,
yeah,
it makes me feel really old, but then I realize that I started really young.
Yeah. So tell me, how young were you, and how did this journey start?
Sure. I started when I was 14. Yeah, I was raised in the lab, and so my parents started the company in 2003.
Okay.
And they had a vision because they came from New Jersey, okay? And when they were working for some of the most accredited hospitals in New York, they were always in a management role. So in every lab that they worked for, they ended up managing it, okay? My father was a biochemist, mother was a microbiologist, and they were the best at what they do. Now, up north, there's a lot of regional labs, private labs, and they're a little more nimble than the larger labs, and they give better service. When my parents moved down here to Palm Beach Gardens, they realized that there weren't any local labs for the most part. It was pretty much the 2 juggernauts that ran the industry. They had, I guess you can say, a monopoly, if you will. And they said, let's fill the gaps. We need to have a lab that focuses on service, quick turnaround time, and less blood being drawn per patient. So better blood draws. And in 2003, they started Access Medical Labs. And it was right here in Jupiter, Florida, in the Three Palms Plaza. And from there, they brought my oldest brother on board, and they were the only employees. They did the lab testing, the sales, the blood draws, you name it, they did it. They were the whole company. And from there, they expanded. They brought, started to make some hires. And then my middle brother, Ryan, came in, I think, around 2004 or 2005. And he really was, I got to say, a visionary. He thought really big, was big on marketing, branding, process. And so he wanted to be a national lab. And I think in 2006, a gentleman asked him if he can, if we're able to have labs shipped to us. Granted, we knew nothing about that, but he told them yes. He hopped on the phone, called DHL, got some boxes, got some shipping labels, and we became a national lab. So
that's crazy.
It is. But nonetheless, I'll spare you the details. I'll make a long story short. We kept growing from there, got the attention of one of the major labs in 2017. We sold our regional business to one of the largest labs in the country and started focusing on our nationwide brand. And from 2017 to 2023, we grew by 10x, and then that's when we had a groundbreaking partnership with Impressus Arias, one of the largest labs in Mexico. And now here we are back in the local community, along with the rest of the country, aside from New York State. We're working on a New York State license, but we are nationwide, and we're back in the local community, which is amazing because we haven't been for 7 years.
Wow. So why Mexico?
What I'll say is it was very strategic.
Okay.
So after the partnership occurred, we wanted to before the partnership occurred, we wanted to make sure if we're going to do this, it has to be with someone that has the same values that we have, that doesn't want to change our business model, that believes in our vision, direction, and all of those things on top of our core values. And if we were to do something with one of the largest labs in the U.S., I think we would end up getting absorbed, if you will. Mm-hmm. So this was very strategic. Access, it's been over a year of this partnership, and Access still operates as it has for the past 20 years. And I think that's what made the most sense. We're their first U.S. lab investment. They have over 350 locations in Mexico, wow. But for U.S., we're their first, and they're letting Access operate as Access.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Access is considered a specialty lab?
Yes.
What does that mean, and how does it differentiate you from other labs that maybe some of us have gone to?
Absolutely. And I think that's a great question. So we are known as one of the largest specialty diagnostic labs in the country, right? And it doesn't mean we can't do all the traditional tests that the larger labs are known for. So we can still do your CBCs and your thyroids and your general chemistries, some lipids and things like this, right? But we also specialize in a lot of niche testing that a lot of larger labs either won't do or they have to reference out. So, for example, heavy metal testing, extensive food sensitivities, food allergy, environmental allergy, salivary hormone assays. There's so many different niches that we do, and we do it all under one roof. And furthermore, we deliver results within 24 hours. So with these types of tests, a lot of physician offices or practices, they would have to utilize 3, 4, sometimes even 5 labs to get these tests done. We do it all under one roof, and once again, results are delivered the next day.
That's amazing, because I know the time can take weeks sometimes, right? And so how did you, when did you know that these specialty tests, was that very strategic to go say, you know what, I think that, people, we are going to need to be testing hormones, maybe functional medicine doctors were coming on the scene more. Was that very strategic to follow that kind of more niche specialties?
It was. Yeah. It was 100% strategic. As we started getting more involved with preventative medicine and going to certain trade shows, some of the largest trade shows in the country that focus on functional medicine, integrative medicine, and we started seeing what was out there, seeing the community of doctors, and seeing the growth in that industry, we realized we want to be ahead of the curve. We want to be the lab of choice for physicians that are practicing this medicine, right? We didn't let go of our traditional tests once again, but we wanted to make sure that our menu can support that industry. And so everything was by design. We wanted to make sure we had the best equipment, the best processes, and the quickest turnaround time for those tests. And I think we've accomplished that, and I think we're setting the bar in that industry. There's not another lab that can do the amount of tests we do in the speed that we do it, and not that we sell on price, but for the affordable price that we offer for.
And do you guys accept insurance, or how does that work?
We do not. So we are a cash pay lab.
Okay.
But what we're finding is a lot of individuals in our industry are willing to pay for a premium service. We deliver massive value. And I think that's key to not only what we're doing, but any business. But if you're going to charge people for their hard-earned money, you need to deliver. And I believe we are doing that. Once again, we invest a lot in our technology, a lot in our people, a lot in our infrastructure, and we offer a fantastic record, I don't know if it's called a record-breaking service, if you will. These tests have not been delivered in 24 hours from any other lab ever. So for that, we're able to charge a cash price, and if a patient wants to then submit to their insurance for reimbursement, they'll do that, but we won't accept it. We need to get paid for our services.
Yeah, and that makes total sense. I mean, I chose willingly in my health journey. I'll just tell you a little bit about it. But, I had gone to regular practitioners and everyone's, oh, your hormones look fine. Everything looks fine, right? And I knew there was a problem. I still felt in my gut that there was something not right. So that's when I followed different functional medicine practitioners and started, going down that route and found one that really helped me. And we did all of these specialty tests and really got some answers. Yes. But, you're paying, most of the time you're paying out of pocket for a functional medicine doctor and their fees. And so I completely agree, yes, you can go this regular route, but the service, the answers, the time spent is not necessarily apples and apples, right?
100%.
Like totally different.
And from the physician's end, I'd like to speak to that because yes, a lot of the functional or integrative physicians, they also are out of pocket. You have to pay for the service. However, the amount of time they are investing in the patient to not only do their discovery to find out what's going on. So if you notice, they'll order a lot more tests. Mm-hmm. Then they'll spend a lot more time reviewing the results. Yes. They'll put a lot of effort into a program for you. Look at that investment. Mm-hmm. That comes with a cost. Mm-hmm. You can't really know what's going on with your health if you're gonna do a general lab screen and a physical once a year and the doc says you're good to go. No. Like for me, my physicals are always great, and my general labs are always great. Thyroid, your CBC, your liver functions, which I'm surprised about, your kidney functions. No, I'm just kidding.
Your parents are in the room.
No. But so all those different, basic lab tests show up fine. Mm-hmm. But I was waking up and literally I felt foggy. Mm-hmm. And it was so frustrating because I would wake up at 4:45 or 5 a.m., get ready to go to the gym, work out. About 7 a.m., I would go get a bagel, egg and cheese, and my coffee. And it was my reward for my workout, right? Mm-hmm. And then I would feel so fatigued and cloudy. But I had to keep moving because we're running a business. So I kind of ignored it and kept going. Labs were showing up fine. It wasn't until I did the food sensitivity and food allergy panel that I was shocked. I don't believe sensitive. I am allergic to the egg yolk and the egg white.
Same here.
Yeah. So I'm like, wait a minute. So I literally eliminate the egg and cheese. I supplemented it with, I used to go to they had like a smoothie bar in the gym. So I was like, let me try this. And I had like a bunch of greens and kale, spinach, apple, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, your head feels so light in the morning and you feel sharp. And so long story short, you get out what you put in. So is it out of pocket for a lot of these type of physicians and for the testing? Yes. But they're going to do a deep dive. They care. And hopefully you care enough as well in for your health to make that investment, because I think it's well worth it. It's life-changing. It
really is. I'm glad you brought up the food sensitivity because that was something that changed my life. And I was eating, you think you're eating healthy foods, and they may be healthy and good for somebody, but if you have a sensitivity or an allergy to it, it could be causing you a lot of problems. Case in point, I am allergic to almonds. And here I'm drinking the kale smoothie, the spinach smoothie, but I have almond milk in it. And so I'm literally like having these rashes and bloating and all of this stuff that I was like, but I'm doing everything right, know? Yep. So I think that, people are like, oh, I'm completely healthy. And it's like, yes, you could be by any standards, but I actually had a sensitivity. I've done the test twice because I wanted to see where I was at. I think I did it through Access, which is funny that you're here now because
I love it.
But I did it once and then I did it again and I had like a different sensitivity. So I actually had a sensitivity to broccoli. And you think broccoli is the healthiest food on the planet.
Super green, right?
Super green, but it was causing me some problems. So then, I just eliminate it for a little while, and from what I understand, you can kind of heal from certain sensitivities maybe over time. Maybe you just become less sensitive to them over time. I don't know.
I can't speak so in depth about that. However, what I will say to that is this: as we age, so I know you were speaking about a sensitivity almost reduction, if you will. Mm-hmm. I know as we age, our sensitivities to certain foods can actually increase, which is what happened to me. Mm-hmm. So just because when you were 15, you were eating cheese or eating eggs and you were fine, doesn't mean when you're 35, you can do the same thing. It may be a driving force to why you feel fatigued or have, foggy memory, etc. Yes. So I know your sensitivities can increase. As far as when you stop them, if they decrease, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Okay.
That's going to be
We'll have to talk to one of our doctors. We have a lot of doctors on staff.
Yeah.
So I will ask them for you.
Yeah, because you guys do a consultation, right? When you get a food sensitivity, you can talk with somebody. Is that right? Okay.
Absolutely. So we have a few physicians on staff. Not only because right now we're primarily direct to physician, we will eventually really open up for direct to consumer, but we're going through a lot of changes within the company right now with our growth. So we don't want to open up so many different channels. So right now for South Florida, we're really focusing on B2B, going to physician practices and providers. And so for the physician consults right now, even actual providers sometimes would want to consult with one of our physicians to say, hey, what do I do when my patient's result looks like this? Or what do I do when I see this elevated? And our doctors will speak to them and kind of guide them on a few steps they can take to treat or diagnose their patient. When we do the direct-to-consumer availability, we will also allow patients to talk to an actual doctor and get some guidance on what the results mean.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. I'd like to say one other thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
We also started our Access Live webinar. This was about 2 years ago, and we've been consistent. Every single month, we have a physician do a webinar. So it's all physician education. It's for our clients, and they'll do a webinar once a month on various topics about health, about wellness, even how to run your practice. So sometimes, how do I make my practice more profitable? We'll even get into that. So, and some of the physicians are world-renowned names, such as Dr. Pamela Smith. She did one. Dr. Terry Hertorg, Dr. Mark Gordon. So there's a lot of well-known physicians that have done this. So we're big on education.
Yeah, I love that. I love that they can kind of level up in their what they offer.
Correct.
So,
Correct.
like, if someone is going to, currently going to kind of a general practitioner and not a functional medicine, specialist, can they say to their doctor, I really feel like, I want to do this hormone panel, and then that doctor, even if they're not currently using Access Medical Labs, they can forward that person to you if that's something that they really want to explore, like if they feel like they're having hormone issues or something.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. We have open doors, and we welcome anyone who's trying to level up on their health and do more testing on themselves. So yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And do you guys offer mold testing?
So it's not. When you say mold testing, do you mean just to see if someone's allergic to mold, or an in-depth mold panel?
Like, I guess maybe if in-depth mold panel.
Okay, not at the moment, no.
Okay.
So there's a few areas that we're going to explore. That's one of them.
Okay.
So right now we're focused on advanced hormones, right? Heavy metal testing, advanced cardiac markers, food allergy, food sensitivity, and environmental allergy. Now, one other area that we believe is critical, because when you say holistic, which is a big topic on your show, holistic medicine, integrative medicine, it really is a multiple pronged approach, right? You have mind, body, soul, spirit, and a lot of individuals do not realize how important it is to look at gut health. So I think going into mold testing, yes, but also gut health is another area that we're doing some research on, because that's a big part of someone's overall well-being.
Yes, and that gut-brain axis that everyone's talking about, like, it's all so connected.
Correct.
So I love that. Yep. The heavy metal test, too, was really interesting to me because I didn't really think, I had been aware of, my husband's a fisherman, I'd been aware of, nice. High mercury containing fish, like a swordfish or tuna and things like that. And I would really eat that in moderation. And I remember one time a friend of mine she was trying to like diet down, and she was, I believe it was in my cheerleading days, but she was eating a lot of canned tuna, and her complexion was actually turning like a grayish color.
No way.
So I think they found out her eyesight was being affected, and they found out it was like high heavy metal. So this has been kind of on my radar for a long time. So I'm thinking I get my, my mercury testing, and wow, I've got this because I'm really being conscientious about it. Mm-hmm. My mercury was still high. I think it was like in the 30s, I want to say.
Whoa.
Which was high.
So did you do some chelation therapy?
Yes, okay. And I brought it down. And I think now I actually cut out, I don't eat tuna anymore. I don't do sushi for a lot of reasons, but
wait, I want to hear this. Why don't you do sushi? Because I can't imagine cutting sushi out. Okay. I need to know what's going on.
Well, okay, so like raw fish most raw fish has parasites.
Okay.
Adam, blow your mind with this.
This is news to me. All right, tell me.
So really, it's funny. We had Samantha Monis on the podcast. She talked about parasites. Actually, Dr. Gandhi talked about parasites too. And when you're eating raw fish, it's any piece of fish could really be the time bomb that is like loaded with parasites. So typically, you'd want to like cook the fish.
Yes.
You'd want to cook that, but. So I kind of started avoiding it because parasites and the heavy metal. I just was like, I can't do it anymore. And I used to love sushi.
So
love it.
It's delicious.
Yeah.
Did you see a difference in your overall well-being or not? Was it a measurable gain or no? You're just kind of preventative by not eating it. Like, did you feel different not eating it?
Well, I think I'm doing, I think it was a combination of things because I'm eliminating the foods I'm sensitive or allergic to. Gluten was a big one for me. So like eliminating that was huge. And then, so I think overall, could I really attribute it to that? But I do believe the heavy metals you get, like, you have some brain fog and things like that. So I definitely feel, clearer.
Yes.
Overall. But I'm obviously doing like a lot of different things too. So,
You seem super healthy for sure.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yep. 44, it's like you got to really...
I would have thought really 24. You're doing well.
Oh, Adam!
You have the smooth skin going on. Yeah. So.
You're so funny. So, okay, so tell me about your team. Like, are your parents, your beautiful parents who are here? I love meeting them. And so are you guys still working closely together? Or are you... with your brothers? Or
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So all of us work together, and without my parents, there's just no way I get to where I'm at. There's no way the company gets to where it's at. The company wouldn't even be here. They just have a wealth of knowledge. They've guided me through my whole career. And so to this day, even with the partnership, they're instrumental. Just even if it's over a cup of coffee and they're giving me advice, just their constant guidance. Because they have over 100 years of combined experience inside their heads.
Yes.
So there's so much value there. So there's there's a lot of guidance they give. My oldest brother, Sharif, is the CEO of the company.
Okay.
So him and I work closely together. And then the CFO is from our partner company.
Okay.
And then my other brother, Ryan, is a part owner. So he also gives a lot of guidance and things like that. So all of us very much still work together and communicate. But as far as active roles, you have Sharif, who's the CEO, and myself as COO.
Wow, that's really special.
Yeah,
and I guess I don't associate, a laboratory with a family-owned business. And don't take offense to that. I just feel like that is an interesting It's an interesting family business.
Absolutely.
But with your parents' background, it makes total sense. So I love that story behind it.
For sure.
What were you doing when you were 14? And because you said you kind of were started at 14, what were you doing at that phase?
Sure. At 14, I was doing data entry. So just entering patient information. I was on Sundays, my dad would make me mop the floors. And then I would do customer service. So it was a very entry-level type positions.
I love it.
And that's where I started. And then from there, just kind of learned more about the business, then started getting into sales and then operations. So it was a long journey for me, but I've learned so much, and I appreciate the knowledge that I've gained doing it. There's a lot of hands-on. There's a lot of dealing with people, a lot of ups, a lot of downs. You know, some of the older lab techs would even put me down in a way. And at a young age, it really hurts you a little bit, but you gain thicker skin. You just really learn how to deal with people, deal with business, deal with commerce. And so it's been an amazing journey, but it started at the most entry-level position.
Yeah.
Like I said, mopping floors.
Literally the ground floor, right?
He used to rent this thing from Home Depot. You know the machine that goes like this on the tile? And I hated it. And he would make me clean the tiles. That was like once a month, you know?
I love it.
What is that thing called?
I don't know, but I think I've used it too, because I'm like...
All right. But yeah, so that's what I was doing at 14.
I love it. Now, what is your vision for the next 5-10 years for this company?
Absolutely. So I think the direction we're heading in now is definitely the right direction. So we're focusing on people, space, technology right now, because there's no shortage of demand in the industry that we're in. So these preventative doctors and holistic doctors and integrative doctors, there's an abundance. It's growing and growing. So the demand for our tests is there. Right now we're focusing on increased technology, increasing our people, and increasing our space. I think that's our primary focus right now. And I think 5-10 years, the company should be hopefully doing about 3 to 4 times the volume that we're doing now as far as patient care.
Wow.
Or patient testing.
Yeah. I love that you actually brought up earlier, and I wanted to ask you about this. It sounds like you are more efficient with the amount of vials you are taking from a patient. Because I've done 40, 50 vials at a time. That's a lot of blood.
I'm surprised you didn't faint. 40 to 50 vials.
I know.
How are you here?
A lot of testing. I know. And actually, it's funny. I feel, I would say maybe the first time that I got it done, I did feel like a little, ooh, I got to sit down. I got to just chill. But then I felt almost energized a couple times after getting all that blood drawn. And I don't know what that is.
It's called It's a therapeutic blood draw.
It is? Okay.
Typically, you don't need 40 or 50. So you had a ultra therapeutic blood draw.
Very comprehensive. Yeah.
But a regular therapeutic blood draw, some people once every, I think maybe quarter or every 6 months or so. I don't know the frequency. I think whatever your doctor would tell you. But the point is, you would draw maybe 16 vials of blood, and that then stimulates the body to produce new cells, etc. So that's where you're feeling that boost of energy, if you will. It's actually healthy.
Interesting. Yeah, I never really knew the reasoning for that.
Yeah.
But I do now. I think it does. It kind of revitalizes me. It's very weird.
Absolutely.
So you guys are more efficient with the amount of blood
We are.
you draw. Okay.
Yep.
Can you explain that a little?
Sure. It really boils down to our process, but our technology and our instrumentation, both. So we invest in the latest technology and automation. So some labs may have certain tech, but they don't have the automation. Some labs have automation, but they don't have the latest tech. We have both. So we have the latest technology, the latest automation, and we have the leanest process. We have a lot of Six Sigma practices that we follow outside of the lab. So that starts as soon as the sample arrives, right? So we have, packages being shipped from all over the country, right? And they're delivered at, let's call it 8:30, 9 a.m. every single morning. Thousands, right? We have patients from all over. So as soon as that sample arrives, our people are aligned on getting that tube from every single touch point that it needs to go as quickly and efficiently as possible. And as soon as that tube enters the lab, because it needs to go from shipping into data entry, then into the lab, right? Mm-hmm. And so when it gets into that laboratory and it goes on to that automation, the automation line will take it to all the proper instruments needed to get the testing done based on what the doctor ordered, right? Wow. So our people are aligned, our process is aligned, and the instrument and the automation is aligned. And that's how we're able to do all these tests within 24 hours.
It's the 24-hour thing is amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Really incredible.
And I think it's one of our, I would say, biggest value propositions. We have so many, and I don't mean that in a way to boast the brand, but we do have a lot of value props. And the value prop that this provider may use you for is not the same as what this provider may use you for. So one might love the 24-hour turnaround time. Another one might love the 50% less blood. Another one might love the physician education. I mean, there's just so many different things that we offer, and it's I would say it's delightful to be able to do that.
Yeah.
To add value into the industry.
I love that. Mm-hmm. What has being in this industry taught you, or how has it changed your personal wellness philosophy?
Wow, in so many ways. Mm-hmm. Because I didn't even know it really existed. So I always thought that as you age, things were just supposed to happen. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We're supposed to not be able to build muscle as quick. We're supposed to have a slower metabolism. We're supposed to have wrinkly skin. And I think when I entered the industry, not that you could ever anti-age, if you take that as literal. Mm-hmm. You can't, right? Mm-hmm. But you can not age in a way that it's known to be, meaning aging is known as a negative thing when really we can age in a beautiful way. And so I think it changed my whole perspective on how to take care of yourself, what it means to really have longevity, and how to really take care of that mind, body, and soul in a way that you can live a sustainable quality of life, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
right?
That does make sense.
And so I think that's how it changed my whole perspective, if that answers your question.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. What are some practices, like you said, it sounds like you get up very early.
I do.
You go to the gym.
Yes.
You don't eat a bacon, egg, and cheese anymore. Egg, and cheese.
I never ate bacon in my life.
Okay, no bacon.
Bacon, egg, and cheese.
Okay.
No.
Take me through some of your wellness practices that you do.
Okay, so...
Because you've got very beautiful skin, too.
Yep, I was going to say, thank you.
I want to know.
I have a solid skin regimen.
I love it.
I'm a big believer of taking care of skin. And, growing up, at least in my house, that's not something that, like, a man doesn't say, oh, take care of your skin, son. I think many people could probably relate to that, right?
Yes.
But I think it's very much massive. Every man should take care of his skin. It's very important.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, so... my regimen is to wake up early, which I've been slacking lately. I'll be honest.
It's summertime.
But typically we wake up about 5 a.m., hit the gym. Now, hitting the gym in the morning, I think, is one of the best things for the mental. It's not because I'm trying to, have this six-pack or this or that. It's more so for mental clarity. It is a challenge to pick yourself up every day and push. But I think it kind of sets you up for the day, especially if you're performing at a high level. It really sets the tone and gets you ready to overcome any other challenges that may come your way, because that's a pretty big challenge. If you get up early and push,
yes,
you're kind of letting yourself know we're ready. We're ready for what the day may bring, right? And then I'll do like a smoothie, which I love. I used to have a heavier breakfast, but I found out that having a liquid breakfast keeps my head light and sharp and energized. I feel great.
Okay, so what's in the smoothie?
We have kale, spinach, apple, almond butter, almond butter, and oat milk.
Nice.
And probably a few other things, and I can't remember.
Okay.
I think like chia seed or something.
Yeah, a bunch of
they
stuff.
put a bunch of bits in there. But it gives me good energy. And then back to my skin. So when I get back after the smoothie, we shower, blah, blah, but the skin, so I use a face cleanser. then I'll do a moisturizer, and then I'll do a toner. And that's what keeps the skin glowing.
Yeah.
But
you've got beautiful skin. Your family has beautiful skin, too.
Thank you. You know what also helps, though?
What?
Is what you're putting in your body, the food. That's one of the most, forget about all the skin, what's it called, like creams or any of that.
Yeah.
If you cut back on, let's say, alcohol consumption and certain fatty foods and things like that, it goes a long way.
Yes.
Long way for the skin.
I completely agree with you.
Yes.
I love that you divulged your skin secrets. You weren't expecting.
Don't tell anybody, please.
You weren't expecting to do that.
No, I was not. You have me blushing, for sure.
I definitely agree with you. Speaking my language with that, I stopped drinking like 2.5 years ago. And it does. I mean, it's amazing what it does for the outside. It does a lot for the inside, but it does a lot for the outside too. I think you're less like dehydrated and you know, skin glows a little bit more.
Absolutely. So for 2 years, stopped? Nothing, huh?
Nothing.
I got to ask, how do you feel? What's the difference?
Huge shift for me. Yeah, wow. It really was. It was one of the best things I've ever done outside of having my son, marrying my husband, you know, like those things. It really was life-changing for me. And that kind of, that started, you know, with my journey with my functional medicine practitioner. And I was doing all this testing and, you know, spending money on my health. And I thought, there's this one piece of the puzzle that's still it's not aligned with all of this other health stuff I'm doing. And that was the alcohol. So I said, we got to cut it out. And I really didn't expect, you know, to continue with it. Honestly, I thought, I'll cut it out for a little while. Yeah. I'll do my blood work and I'll get on a good path. But, you know, I just kept.
And you felt so much better. And it's just like, why would I ever go back?
Why would I ever go
back?
Or
why would I ever touch it? Yeah, I got you.
Well, you're more hydrated. You're sleeping better. It's so many positives to it. So I do talk about that a lot. I
hear many stories that are similar, and it's inspiring for sure. I think that's probably the next step in my journey too. But with the hydration, I drink about 1.5 gallons to 2 gallons of water a day.
It shows on the skin.
I forgot to mention that because you asked me about regimen. The hydration is key.
Yeah.
Everyone knows. If you see water bottles at the office, they know Adam's been here.
Yeah.
Adam has. That's my paper trail.
Lots of water.
Yep. I just leave.
Do you add anything to the water?
No.
No.
Okay. But in the morning, sometimes I'll do my apple cider vinegar, but I'm slacking there too.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. A little health hack.
But yeah.
Maybe some electrolytes after that workout.
I hear that's excellent. I don't currently do that, but I got to get on that for sure.
Yeah, maybe like a little salt.
For sure.
Okay, because this is the cinnamon effect.
Yes.
And I was telling you in the lobby that cinnamon is kind of my metaphor for life.
Yes.
What I think I sprinkle on life that makes it better, sweeter, healthier, more fulfilling. So I want to know, what is your cinnamon effect? What is something that you add to your life that makes it better? It can be anything.
Wow, something that I add into my life that makes it better. This may sound a little cheesy, but quality family time. Yeah. I feel imbalanced if I don't get that. And sometimes I get too caught up in the day-to-day or just with me, right? Your health, how do you look, this, that, and we're forgetting to spend time with the ones you love. Yeah. And that keeps you grounded and goes such a long way. So that's my cinnamon effect, if you will.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Thanks for answering that.
You're so welcome. What's your cinnamon effect?
Oh, gosh. Well, I mean, I feel like I talk about a lot of it, you know, on the podcast and different topics. But I mean, there's so many things. I think just being committed to me and to my health. And I know if I perform better and I feel better, I'm better for everybody around me. So that includes, you know, meditation, and includes exercise and just being good to myself, you know, not trying to work myself too hard, or I need to like get sleep and just really valuing those basics of health. And I think I can show up better for everyone around me when I do that. So.
Love that.
Thanks.
Thank you for sharing.
So I want to know, tell everybody how they can find you or Access Medical Labs. Like how do they connect?
Absolutely. So the website is accessmedlab.com. So that's ACCESS medlab.com. Okay. I would say if you want a wealth of information with respect to what we do and what we offer, that's where you go. Okay. Social media platforms, it's at Access Medlab. And yeah, that's how they can find the lab.
Okay, awesome. Get a food sensitivity test if you have not gotten one already. I'm telling you, it's life-changing.
Amen.
There will be something on there that will surprise you, you know, that you will have been eating every single day, and you're like, why am I reacting to this?
Absolutely.
Like healthy, so to speak. But thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it.
I had a pleasure.
Good. Thank you. Thank you for listening to this episode of The Cinnamon Effect. Please rate, review, share it with somebody you love, and we'll see you next time.